Hello, Flosstube.
Greetings.
I'm Laura.
I'm Joe.
Welcome to the Slovak Farm.
This is the farm where we grow cross-stitch.
One stitch at a time. Today is Monday, June. What is today?
16th.
I can't see the computer because I apparently, forget that my glasses need cleaned until this particular moment.
It's the light.
It's because of the light and the way the light and then it's like, ooh, God, I can't see. Okay, there we go. That's better. How is everybody on this wonderful Monday? Hopefully you all had a wonderful week. Last week was a bit busy.
Fun,
but busy. My library stitching at the Wellington Library got switched to last week because they were kicking off. So it's usually the first week of the month. They were kicking off the summer reading program and getting all of the stuff put together for that. And so the first Tuesday they just didn't have space to accommodate us. So they moved it to the second Tuesday, which was fine. It worked out. So I had that. And I had breakfast with the one group that I do a weekly study with over at the church. And then I had EGA. And then Friday was Sip Sipperee over at the church, and I cooked the food, and we went, and we had a good time, and I was very tired afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
I'm apparently still very tired. I've been on the struggle bus today. So hopefully you all had a good week, and hopefully you'll have a good week coming up. Summer be summerin'.
Remind me to put pool chemicals in pool.
I will. Because we're going to need that pool come next week. Summer starts officially on Friday. And summer going to be summerin'. Summer going to be summerin'. That pool and I are going to be BFFs.
And I'm going to wind myself.
Wind yourself. Okay.
Rainbow!
Okay.
The giant rainbow pool float that literally takes up half the pool.
Summer gonna be summering. There might not be no floating on that thing. The way summer's gonna be summering next week. Tomorrow looks like a pretty good pool day. Wednesday looks like a pretty good pool day. Thursday's kind of gonna stink. Of course, the only detriment to Wednesday being a good pool day is I have a funeral luncheon to do on Wednesday, so. But tomorrow I might be able to jump in for a little bit in the afternoon. Friday officially kicks off summer. And Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it's gonna feel like summer. A lot. Okay. I'm excited. I don't care if y'all are excited. I'm excited.
I got air conditioning. I'm good.
I get it if you're not excited. I understand where you're coming from if you're not excited. Don't get me wrong. I understand where you're coming from if you're not excited. It's just...
She's excited because she has a pool to go play in.
I'm excited because I love summer and I have a pool. So, and I have a question for my friends that also are book people. Because I'm curious. Because I'm having a bit of a bookish issue. So when you're reading a book, if you read a book and it's got a meh, the story is meh, it's not very well written. It's not a very well thought out story. It's not a very well written story, but the characters are really good and really dynamic. Is that worse than if you have a book where the characters are just completely unlikable? Even the characters you're supposed to like are extremely unlikable, but the story is pretty deep, pretty good. What's worse in your opinion? Because lately, the last few books I've read, I like the story. I like the concept of the story. I like the story. The characters are just wholly unlikable. What?
I'm picky. I want decent and good. Like, it's okay if you have a good plot and decent characters, or good characters and a decent plot. If either one of those goes too bad, it's a bad book to me.
I mean, trust me, my preference would be good characters, good plot. But, like...
I think characters are more important. They're what actually drives the plot. If I don't care if somebody dies, you know what I mean?
Right. Like, the book I'm currently reading, I feel sympathy for the main character. Because she's kind of in a shitty situation, dealing with a pile of... with just a shitty life. But I don't like her. And the author is not making me want to like her or the other two characters that you get point of view from, or any of the other characters. Now, I realize that there are characters in books that are just supposed to be crappy people, because that's what a storytelling is. You have a protagonist, an antagonist, and the antagonist is crappy people. I don't like any of the characters. Like, none of the characters are likable, in my opinion.
You want to do something a friend of mine wrote for a negative review. Or, I don't know if it was a friend, but it was somebody I knew. He's like, it's pretty sad when I like the bad guy because he started killing off the other characters in the story. That was the best quality of any character. You made the other characters shut up.
Oh no, I absolutely positively utterly hate the bad guy, and I just read a section where I was hoping the bad guy would get it, but I know I was too early in the book. And maybe with this particular book, that is the author's that's something that is meant to be. Like, you're not really entirely supposed to love these characters or like them. I don't know.
Are you interested in them? Is a better way of putting it. Do you want to know what happens to them?
I don't know at this point.
Yeah, because this is me coming from an anime point of view and from video games. One of my favorite video games has probably the most loved because we all hate him character villains. Final Fantasy VII. Because you spend the first third of the game falling in love with this sweet, innocent character, and then he makes her a shish kebab.
Like, I think part of me is hoping that maybe we get to a point where I like the main characters, and or at least I understand, I have some more understanding of some of the characters. I think that some of the unlikableness of the main character may just be because of how the author is writing her reaction to the situation she's in, which I feel I do feel sympathy for that. I kind of got a little pissed off at the very beginning because the author went into one of the very atypical, oh, I figured that out in 2 seconds tropes to how this chick ended up having a kid. But I'm hoping I do like it. At least it's a little bit more than I'm liking it soon. Or I may not finish it. Or I may do one of those, go to the last couple of chapters of the book. Has anybody ever done that with a book they don't really enjoy and gone to the last couple of chapters and figured out how it ended and been like, okay, I'm good?
I skipped the middle portion of 1984. It was a book that was given for summer reading. And this, want to know what should tell you exactly how important the middle chapters were? Because it was broken into 3 volumes, I think. There was one question out of 25 for it. That I didn't know the answer to.
That was a very odd book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I always thought making people read books without, like, just making them read it, and it's like something like that. It's like, why?
I mean, living in the world we're living in now. Yeah.
This was 25 years ago!
Okay, so I have a fantastic story about 1984. Because it was made into a movie. The book was made into a movie, right?
Oh, God.
and we were in 8th grade language arts class, English class, and we did not read the book, but we had read something that was more, because 1984 really wasn't like geared towards a junior high kid. But we had read something similar, and we were kind of in this like block of, we were learning about stuff like that, books like that. So the language arts teacher decides to show a portion of the movie 1984 as like this little clip on, these types of books and literature and whatnot. And he, gets all done, and we're talking about, the kind of the concepts of it. We only watched maybe 30 minutes of it. Just enough to kind of get the concept of the whole brain, mind controlling people's minds, their actions, their thoughts. And we were discussing that, and I don't really know how he got into this particular section of the conversation, but he goes, it's kind of like 7th graders. You have to tell them, this is a window, don't put your head through it. He tilts his head to the side and smacks a plexiglass window, so a plastic glass window. Well, the building we were in, the junior high edition, was put on probably in the 50s, the 60s. It existed when my mother went to all 12 grades in one school building. So, my mother graduated in 1971. So, it predates my mom's schooling because that section had always been there. Anyways, so this piece of plexiglass, it's been in there for Lord only knows how long. He puts his head to the side and smacks it. It was cracked, and he popped that piece of plexiglass right out the window. So there he is with his head hanging out the window, and he pulls his head back in, and he goes, that wasn't supposed to happen. No, really? So he sent some kid outside to go pick up the piece of plexiglass and duct taped it back together. Explain that to the principal, buddy. He was a real character of a teacher. It's my fantastic story about 1984. And that's pretty much primarily the only reason I remember 1984. The book, movie. Joe does not find my story funny.
No, I'm trying to figure out what's more of a squirrel. That you going on that tangent, or the squirrel's picking a fight outside on the tree?
I just, somebody brings up 1984, and I gotta bring that up.
Boing!
Doink!
I was also letting you tell your story because I didn't want to comment.
Doink!
Okay. People hi time.
Yes, why don't we comment or shout out our commenters, and then we will get into our stuff.
Baja, Teresa, Bridget.
Thank you all so much for commenting. Thank everybody who watches and doesn't comment. I wish you would comment, but thank you. Anyways, so let's move on to the world of whips.
I got a question we can ask them real quick.
What?
What is your favorite part about your crafting? The floss, the yarn, the hook, the needle, the fabric. Let us know what it is.
What's your favorite part about crafting? Well, you do not have whips. Nope. I have whips.
Nope, that rope.
It's not a nope rope. So I have the Star Touched Meadow Sal, the January block. Worked on that last week. And I did 311 stitches on it. This is... yeah, I worked over here. This is where I'm at. It's on a piece of 16 count Aida. Just basic white Aida. Because it's full coverage block and it's going to get finished with pretty much as close to the, margin as I can get it. So, I have high hopes of finishing these and making like this little spot in our entryway with like stuff I can switch out monthly, seasonally with a few things that I'm doing. I am doing like I've been working on as you know, I've been working on the Into the Woods, the Cottage Garden sampling animals. I can't remember what they're, Year in the Woods, animals. I'm not doing all of them. I don't want to do all of them. So those will probably get switched about seasonally. Alright, and then let's go into, don't fall out the chair.
I was literally going, please, we do not need a gravity demonstration.
Right. Pardon me while I stand up. As I told you guys last week when we filmed, I was working on finishing up the last prompt from Hampton Court Palace Week on Calla Lily Bride, and I'm pleased to say I have that finished. Some weeks I get done with my, no, she's not done.
You just said she's finished.
No, I have the prompt finished.
Okay.
Some weeks I get done with my Sal section pretty quickly because it is like really easy to stitch blocks. So if I'm behind, I can pick up. Right? That's what we're gonna. And if not, I think I may start doing Build a Challenge with the Sal. I don't know. I'm done with this week's, but I'm not stitching anymore because my brain is fried. But this was 301 stitches to finish the last prompt. Don't remember what prompt it was. Oh, it was Whip of Choice for Hampton Court Palace. I am not done with her.
I know you're close.
I've got to finish putting beads on down here. Yeah, I got to finish the beads down here and on her foot. I think that's all the beads I have left to do. I keep finding little spots where I forgot to do stitches too. Oh, I've got to finish some beads in here.
Want to hear Joe's really stupid comment that just entered his brain because his brain has random things?
What?
If we ever renew our vows, you should probably cosplay that dress.
I don't know if I can.
Oh, I'm pretty sure you can't, but it would still be a cool thought.
Yeah, it'd be a cool thought. So that's that. Then we started on roller skating week, and the wonderful Joe picked out the sampler that shall not be named. We're still going with the sampler that shall not be named. That may change soon enough. I'm still salty with the Russian government for their behavior in Ukraine, but at this particular junction in life, I feel like it's wrong to punish the people for the government, all things considered. Yeah. And the company has a couple other patterns that I really do think I want. And again, I'm back to this whole, they're brainwashed people by their government. But anyways, we won't get into that.
We got deep enough as is.
That's as deep as I'm going to go on it. You want to go deeper, we can go deeper privately. So I did all of my stitches for roller skating week on this, which was stitch on something with wheels, stitch on something with clothing, stitch on something with that you have to have a mechanical brake, and stitch on something that goes fast. And I actually did Build a Challenge on stitch on something that goes fast because I could. So that amounts to 1,112 stitches, and all of it is in the house.
Can I make a smart comment?
What?
This could go fast with a big enough knife.
Okay, we're not going to reenact the Hindenburg.
No, I was doing Looney Tunes.
Well, there's that too. All of it was in the house. Just on a piece of 28 count white, even weave. All of it was in the house, and as you can see, I'm still not done with the house. And actually, there's another level of the house, because the house sits level with these things.
Okay, here's this.
I used my pass on Stitch on Something with a dancer on it.
Technically, I think that guy might count.
Probably could have, but I had already put my pass up for that. And, well, anyways.
I'm sorry. Anybody in any kind of costume, you can say, well, that's a dance. Well, why do you say that, Disney?
Disney.
I mean, technically, you can get dishes and those are dancers.
Technically, if you're playing Beauty and the Beast. Be our guest, be our guest. Okay, moving on. So, for the weekend, I pulled out The Nativity from Janlin.
Dun, dun, dun.
I will get this done. Actually, I will get this done because I got 3 of the monthly needle felt letters done on this. 1.5 of them was on Mary, and Mary is all done.
I got to ring the bell.
Yeah, you got to ring the bell.
It's the little things in life.
This is just on whatever the kit Ada was, because that's how I rolled back then.
Question in the comments.
Actually, that's still kind of how I roll. If the kit comes with whatever I'm inclined to use it. Yes?
That was my question for the comments. Does the fabric matter for a kit?
And see, the thing with... I'm inclined to use it because I'm not a have to have my fabric in a hoop or a Q-snap kind of person.
Coming from somebody who is of the opposite side of the stitching, I can't stitch on even weave or on linen. So I've actually looked at patterns, saw there was linen fabric, and put it back.
Oh, now see, if a kit comes with linen, I'm probably going to swap it for something from my stash that I can do myself. Like to an even weave, just because my preference is not linen. But like, if a kit comes with Ada, I'll probably stitch it on that Ada, even though, like, a lot of kits, they cut their margins really small. It is what it is. So after I finished Mary, I did 424 stitches on Mary. I then started on the final piece for the Nativity, which is Baby Jesus. And I did 483 stitches on Baby Jesus. And Baby Jesus is all stitched in. Like, oh, yeah.
That's what it is?
What?
If all you've got is a little bit left, do it. Just finish it now.
I know I have enough for at least one of the 2 prompts I have left for the monthly. I more than likely will get, if not all of the last, you know, I more than likely will, if I don't get all of the 10th letter finished, I'll have enough that I can use my stitch discount pass, call it done. After that, I'm probably going to be close enough that, yeah, I'll probably just end up finishing it. But I'll see where I'm at with it next weekend. And this will be done, and then I have to FFO it.
FFO.
Which, they are stand-ups. So I kind of, and there is instructions in there on how to do it.
Can I make a suggestion?
What?
Stitch it how you do it, the flat bottom, and then literally go and get glue on backs like they do for picture frames. Like wrap it around a piece of cardboard that's shaped, put a flat piece of cardboard on the back, and literally put a picture frame stand on the back. So they held up like picture frames.
There's a way that you do it. So that
it was just a suggestion if that was difficult.
I honestly haven't read the finishing instructions on it much beyond my initial almost 20 years ago when I opened it and was looking at it. So I just kind of have to figure that out. So that's been my stitching for the week. I have been crocheting, but the crochet is a struggle bus. Seriously, struggle bus. Like, I don't know, every couple of... I'll be stitching along...
We need that back.
I know, I'll be booping along fine. And the next thing I know, I'm off on my stitches, so I'm literally going to start counting like every other row on this, because that's how the pattern colors it. I'm really tired of it. And that's probably why I'm not stitching anywhere tonight, because I'm going to go sit over there and I'm going to pull out rows that I've already pulled out once to figure out where I went wrong.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. And yes, I do know that we need this list back. I needed to put the thingy back in.
Okay, I was just being...
No, I get it.
Because you might have accidentally forgot to go back to that, and then you look down and go, uh-oh.
Yes, no. So, I don't need to pull anything up for... Well, we're not on plans yet. Because I do have haul. I forgot, I did bring something home from EGA. Somebody put these two kits, so it's these two projects. One is Heartstring Samplery's Lucy to Henry, a collaborative project with Plum Street Sampler. So this is Lucy to Henry. Hello. Glare, go away. Alright. And this is Henry to Lucy from Plum Street Sampler. And she had the flosses for it. I don't know if... Yeah, she did. It looks like she might have stitched it. She might have used some of the flosses. I'm not entirely sure. But yes, I do intend to stitch it. I think it's really pretty. So, all right. There's that. That's all I got. That's all I brought home. Like, nothing else really intrigued me. On to plans. Do you have plans?
I plan on doing stitching Saturday.
Yes, Saturday is stitch day. EGA stitching day.
I've been requested.
He's been requested. He's been requested. We have to go to church Saturday night because we're Eucharistic ministers. Okay, sorry. I'm very tired today. I don't...
Oh, let's wrap this up so we can get going. And also, may I make a suggestion? If you're really tired, maybe not try to figure out your crocheting.
That's just a matter of counting.
I repeat, I can't count when I'm tired.
Let me tell you something. The way the pattern is, every other row is just like straight single crochet in each plot, in each, if I pull out this row of single crochet and the row below it, which has like the pattern in it, is wrong, I'm gonna wing it, fixing it.
Okay, so what week is it?
So, this is Write Your Own week for Daily 30. So, we get to write our own prompts. Which means you get to pick out a project and we get to write prompts that go with that project.
Lace corset.
Okay. So.
Just because it made me laugh, so I was like, we're doing that one.
Okay. So lace corset is the project. Now we need to come up with prompts.
I already got one.
Okay.
Name a pattern where you have a mistake in it, you don't know where it is, and you just improvised like half of it.
Stitch on the whip, you had to wing it because you couldn't find your mistake. And I do have a free pass. So.
Okay, stitch on your monochromatic whip. One color.
Would that be considered monochromatic?
It's monochromatic, but it's with a variegated floss. But it's still one called for color. Right?
Sure.
Or just stitch on with one called for color. It's variegated floss, I put in quotes.
I'll figure out how to word it so it works.
Stitch on a whip that when you think about it, it makes you chuckle. And this last one, you're definitely going to have to approve it before you say it, before you write it down, so hear the whole thing. Stitch on a whip, your husband wishes you would get an outfit that matched. I'd love to see you in nothing but a lace corset. The thing is, that would also fit for Cathedral Wood God, actually almost all of Mira's. Because they're very pretty dresses. You can maybe apply to maybe do that a little differently, but it's still fun. Just makes me laugh.
Stitch on a whip your spouse is obsessed with.
Actually, no, that one's gone. No, you still have that one. It's just not on the list.
It's one of the ones you're obsessed with. What one are you obsessed with?
Arctic Blast!
It's on the list. Well, it's not available.
That's what I meant. That's what I said.
You are also obsessed with lace corset.
Because it makes me laugh every time I think about it.
Yes, I know, but you are also obsessed with it. Okay, so that's whip planning for...
Also, I like the color choices.
The coming week. The other thing I could possibly do, depending on how much is left on Baby Jesus when I get the last two monthlies done, is it qualifies as it size component wise is a small ornament. There is a small, that individual section. So I could work it as a small for the monthly, or for the month, because the ornament along thing, because it's under 100 by 100 stitches. So I can work it into something with that, depending on what I have left. If it's, you know, if I start getting into the back stitch on it before I finish the second prompt, no, I'm just going to finish it and not count it for anything. It's just going to get done. I have to sneeze.
I need to do something else. We need to hurry up.
Okay, so that, I thought I was going to sneeze, and apparently I'm not. And that does wrap us up for the week. So what would we like the people to do?
Please have a lovely week. Please like, comment, subscribe, bell notification, thingy me Bobby. Please find a cool, comfortable place to hang out. If you don't, please have people you love that will check on you to make sure you don't die of a heat stroke. If you're in an area that's going to get hot.
Yeah. It'll be a lot hot. Thank you so much for spending some time with us this week. We hope you enjoyed yourself. We hope you were entertained. We hope you found this engaging. We hope, but yeah.
Hope you come back.
We hope you come back. We hope to see you next week. Until then, bye.
Bye.